Mm, okay. How are you guys? Hello, hello. So much noise around me right now with the cars passing by. I know I had to put a little bit of meditation. Theta, 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 sound, sound waves, brain waves. Um, so it's great to connect to self, to our heart, without help necessarily like the music and things of that nature. However, because you can do it if you don't, having extra tools. But I also feel sometimes like right now with the like I just did with the mortgage side and call that I have in about 20 minutes for the client to do reverse mortgage. I'm like, I need to center myself right away. And sound waves, brain waves, there are different types, and some of them can be very much in the sound of your nature, the frequency. You don't necessarily hear it, but the vibration of it can be heard. So, welcome to my Thursday chat with you guys. Needs to be warmth in that coffee that I have left. So I've done a little bit of my grounding a couple of times already. We're going to do it together. And I titled it Family Constellation because this is what I experienced yesterday. It's not my first time. So we're going to first take a few deep breaths in, as my niece would say. Hold it. And she placed her hand here. Hold it. And now let it go. Right? So breathing in and out. 6 years old, and she's practicing. And she looks at me like, I can't even blink an eye. I naturally turn my hands down as I'm breathing out. She's like, no, my hand, gotta keep your hands up. I'm like, okay. So you can practice that to center your children and yourself into your heart. As you're breathing out, you center into your heart. Bring the breath there. You bring your focus, right? Where the focus goes, the energy goes. Now we're going to go ahead and center into the earth, Mother Gaia. Hello, hello, Mother Gaia. Thank you for all that you provide. You can speak gratitude. You can allow what comes up to be said. So centering into the earth, feeling the roots growing under your feet, anchoring into the earth. You can feel it, you can see it, you can hear it. Whatever your senses are that are your supernatural senses, connect with them, amplify them. Now, also welcoming my guides in this conversation. Another wink over here. And Archangel Raphael for healing, Archangel Michael for protection, calling forth those archangels with a divine presence, right? So I'm anchoring to this, but my intention is also healing. Yep, and I'll tell you why, because I was in a car accident yesterday. So we're going to ground into the earth and bring the energy back into our heart. Never left the heart, but we bring that focus into the body and all the way to the top of the crown, and going to say hello, hello, Mother, Father, God, Holy Spirit. Now, it is not a source outside of us, right? It's a source of expansion and extension of us. That spark within, really opening to the heavens above as it is below, bringing the energy into our heart, and also feel, imagine, connect with the column of beautiful, bright light. Actually, today feels like a bright yellow light, like the sun beaming. Um, okay, I stand corrected that when the sun is beaming somewhere, it doesn't feel yellow. We've had a representation of the sun looking yellow, which it's not always the case. That's why I said yellow, but it's really the sun, the energy of the sun, the brightness, the warmth. That's the energy that I feel for my tube today. and connecting from above and below, all around my body, edges of my body, secure, safe, and in divine truth. So I said that I was in a car accident yesterday, nothing major. It did hurt my root chakra, I was in my coccyx, because I pressed the gas. I see the guy backing up into me. I'm like, wait, no! On the main road. Like, why are you stopping? And it's trying to be kind and let somebody pass. And this person, unfortunately, decided to flee. And I drove after him. And I'm honking because I honked like, hey, don't back up. I'm right behind you. Not that close, but I could see it. I'm like, please don't. And he did. And I'm going after, and I'm like holding the phone and holding my steering wheel and the phone, trying to take a picture of like it's the bottom of my phone is broken. So it's like I can't really tell if I took the right picture. Can I see the number? There's an N and a 3 in it. But I took several pictures. And I kept going after, and I called my brother, and I'm like, this guy fleed because it's his car. It's like there's nothing you can do, just let it go. And I was like, I do not know how much damage this was. So I had to calm myself down. Driving, it was a place I was going to stop to eat. Stop there. And in pure gratitude, there was not much damage done to the car. It was really the plate in the front that got unhooked and no longer on the car. It did touch the bumper. It didn't just touch. It touched the bumper, but it did not dislocate it to the extent of like we have major issues. Um, Although it was irritating for my brother, like, oh, gosh, something else to deal with. I appreciate his calmness in let it go, you're safe. It's okay. Um, then I went and get some gas, and the guy was joking with me. He was like, you know what? I can get into the playful. That's the part that reminds me of fairies, right? The fairy, you can still be playful in things. The innocence of a child is like, I fall down, but I come back up and I smile. So that's really the energy that I experienced yesterday. But this happened specifically at the intersection of where you turn in this area in Guadeloupe to see a museum of the what I call Arawak, which are the Native Latins or the native of the islands from the beginning, which is very similar to Native Americans that we know of symbols. South America or the North, like the um, indigenous people. And there's a museum that I don't recall ever going there in my life. Maybe it's time for me to go. But I was like, this is interesting because I just came from my constellation session. What is constellation session? So you may have seen myself, something it's called, but in French, it's like Retour de l'arbre de l'olivier or the olive tree or something like that. But it's in French that way, but in English is myself, like knowing myself or something. So, anyways, it talks about the constellation. It is a Turkish series. It's like 3 or 4. I don't know how many. Every time I start it, I binge watch it because it's about energy, right? The energy of our descendants and how it's impacting us. And of course, I love that. Totally. Not all the energies that it passed down to us, but the possibility and the opportunity to actually heal. So I already have started my archéologique, so my tree, a family tree, but it's very, very to the beginning stage. And with this practitioner, she's also a therapist. So her constellation is not about just let's get into the energy and let's see what comes up. It's understanding and knowing mother, father, their mother, father, up and up and up and up. So using one of the websites to know like the lineage and finding as much information, we can trace different backgrounds, not just where they're from, but who married who, how many kids they had in that timeline, what was happening. As you can tell with my color, I'm definitely a combination of multiple. A lot white, somewhat black, and then also maybe that Native American, because there was one person that we could not find anything. And if you think about it, they did not have census tract for them back then. So maybe, right? Now, I want to also say, when I say there is a good number of white and then got me with mixed. And then there's some numbers of like, I do know from my grandmother's side, my father's mom, um, definitely says Africa. I don't know where exactly. I think for my DNA, it's a Benin, some part of Africa. And then in France, actually Italy. I wasn't aware of that. So Italy for my on my mom's side, I don't think they're aware of that either. And some parts of I just recently did this, right? Yesterday. So it was eye-opener, their origins in France, of course. France, Italy, and part of Africa, who mixed with who. So the ones from Africa, they were working on l'habitation, so the plantation home. And then on some sides, I had the owner plantation, who basically had those of moments with the woman. And the women were, I'm just gonna say abused or taken advantage of, or they were not free. They were not in relationship with them of like love, WWE, like we've seen in the movies. So it was very eye-opener to see the interaction. And I know from my grandmother's side, because my mom, her father is white, I'm not going to call him plantation owner because that already had been abolished, but definitely owns properties. And my great grandmother was made for the house. And um, it was interesting what he revealed because she is very much open in the clears, clairvoyance, so she has ability to see and the images will come up, and wasn't pretty. And I want to say also, this is not about blaming and pointing finger. It is putting a finger on who did what and how, what transpired in order to bring healing. Because when it happens, there's a reason for it. So what caused it? So I am the catalyst at this space here with no children, but a niece and a nephew and a brother. I mean, I have multiple brothers, but if we're just looking at this lineage of my brother and I, and then my other siblings that my dad has from before and then after, then there is a consequence also. So all of that impacts the DNA, the way of being, the experience, the subconscious mind. And again, I spent hours yesterday doing this socio analogy of understanding my tree. And again, the intent is empowerment. Not, hey, I did this because of this, or this is happening because of that. We know this is right, but we want to empower. Unfortunately, what I discovered was there was a lot of hurt in the sexual realm, but also in inheritance and finance, not inheritance, in real estate. Funny enough, I'm in lending, but in real estate, where taking acquiring properties that were not theirs to be acquired. Let me just say it that way. So the opportunity based on who I am and my intention, my true heart desire is to heal at my level, but at the root cause. And the root cause, which is why we need to go, where did this originate, the information we can get, so they can receive my lineage healing and I get healing, but also as my ancestors heal, their soul, their spirit, my siblings, my cousins, like it heals a whole section. So I'm super excited because of my level of awareness and my heart desire of seeing family interacting with harmony, with peace, not always bickering, not always like secretly quiet because of their hurt. It's an honor. It really is an honor. A painful one because it's hard to hear, it's hard to see, it's hard to experience, but it's an honor to be on this journey of healing myself, healing the previous one, and healing the future ones. Because another aspect that was very challenging is to realize from how, because if you think about it, if there was a white man with a woman in the times of slavery, um, not just slavery, but the consequences of slavery has already been abolished, but the incorporation of it is still the mindset, right? It was in those times more of abusive, like power over a woman. I'm a woman. So how do I free myself from I'm going to stay with you because I'm powerless. I'm staying with you. I'm being with you because of love. And I've always said, and I've never had experiences of seeing family members on neither side of my family loving. And very often what was said to me was, well, love doesn't really exist. It's kind of like in the movies. Well, I experienced a level of love that make my heart sing. Yes, there were limitations to it because it's still a growth into it, but it was so heart opening. What my prayer was, God guide me to open my eyes, but also my heart to experience and to love from the aspect of love. There are limitations and filters because of the human body, right? The coding based on the DNA and all that stuff. But my soul is about love. Um, this is why I shared those messages to give not just insights, not just my experience, but to empower you to believe there are opportunities to heal. This doesn't mean this is how it goes. I think that a lot of my family members are resigned to, well, that's life. Everybody's like that. And me, I'm like, wait, nah. If everybody's like that, that means it's a different direction. When everybody goes a direction, Christelle stops and is like, wait, what's over here? What's over here? So today I shared more with you about my journey of my first constellation here in my language. I did some constellations via Zoom with somebody in Mexico, so it was in Spanish, and definitely experienced a lot of movement. But I feel like when it's my root, my native language, and going in that order of understanding in the consciousness, in the awareness of what my family experienced, what the mothers experienced, right? What if maybe I just didn't have kids because I didn't have kids, and there's an opportunity for me to free the lineage from having this heaviness of I don't have a choice. Both of my grandparents had 9 kids, 9 to 10 kids. It's a lot of maternal. So I felt also empowered. It's okay that I did not have kids. I already had done my grief from that, but it was a strengthening of it. So I'm excited for this therapy session in a sense of constellation because it's in the energy, not just me sitting in the chair and just chatting about my issues, but the energy, the root cause. It's like for me, very much like acupuncture. Where is the root cause of the blockage? Let's either remove or place a needle where they move the energies. Like I don't know if you ever done acupuncture, where they place the needle where there's a blockage to open it up. So that's what we're pointing to what the issue is so that we can liberate the lineage. And when people say I'm the I'm the stopper of oh gosh, what was it? Stop the generational curse. I'm not just a generational curse stopper. I create a new way of feeling and being. So I am already seeing and experiencing my family feeling liberation, opportunity for that. And so I'm super excited. But before we close out, because we're getting to the top of the hour and I do have a call, just want you guys to be in this silence of what is possible if you have lineage, if you're family. has the opportunity to feel free to choose, free to be. So tap into that freedom. What would that look like? What would that feel like? Smile at the possibility. Take small steps. It could be a constellation. It could be prayer. Allow yourself to be guided by the divine presence of what's best and the highest, yourself and your family. Thank you so much.